Oh no!
This market matters. Last week, that was about getting organized. That was a trial run. This market is about making money. The market is tomorrow. We have lots of bagged greens to get organized. We have bok choy, where we did good with dried flowers last week, so we're making more dried flowers for this week, and we probably even have some fresh ones. We still have plants that can go down to the market. We need to figure out what we're gonna bring, because Ian better sell $1,000 at this market, or there's not very much in the greenhouse right now. This is our flower farm greenhouse, and it's getting pretty empty because we planted the flower farm. The flower farm all planted. This is the main section. We got it filled with 2 beds of zinnias. We got a bed of basil. We have cosmos, a bed of cosmos. It's all filled up. There's not a single space left in there, and I still have lots more flowers, which means extra flower farm this year. We also got all of our dahlias in. This has about 170 dahlias planted. So fingers crossed, huge production. We're doing smaller dahlias this year, ball and decorative dahlias, something that's gonna be easier for me to use in bouquets and should produce more blooms. So I'm expecting money. But Ian said no, he had to have the dinner plates. So he made himself a garden.
How nice is this? Look at that. So we got, I don't know, 25 or so dinner plate dahlias stuffed in that space. Serina also took a bunch of like our hot peppers and decorative kale type stuff. This actually used to be my metal scrap pile, which was right adjacent to our parking lot for all of our customers. And you know, we were like, maybe that's not the best showcase, you know, as soon as you walk in. So this is basically all decorative now. This isn't for, you know, flower bouquets or for food production.
Except for I'm totally gonna use all the dahlia petals for my Michelin mix salad mix, but don't tell Ian. None of those flowers are gonna be producing anytime soon. That's all stuff that's gonna be blooming in the summer. And if I want something for this market, we gotta go check this greenhouse. Last week, we only had Bachelor Buttons, which was great for the salad mix, but this week, I have some Snapdragons. So I think I can throw a couple bouquets together. At very least, it's gonna make the stand look better. We need to harvest up and sell as much of this choy as possible because it's getting ready to go to seed. Also gonna have baby kale again this week. You can see in this little patch here just how little I harvested last week. So a little goes a long way, but this is the bed that we think is gonna be the big seller and the big money maker. This is all lettuce. So we're gonna chop a bunch of this. This is where Ian is gonna make his $1,000. I also need to chop out and get rid of all this spinach. The beets, the carrots, you know, the kale and the Swiss chard for the full-size bunches, that's still gonna take a few weeks at least. You know, these are the summer crops, but it's exciting to see them creeping closer to the summer abundance. But this thing I have to show you is gonna blow your mind. We have zucchinis, look at those. They're actually starting to size up a little bit. It won't be long. We won't have any for market this week, but we will have some for us to eat this week, and we will definitely have some nice looking ones for market next week. And nothing says summer like summer squash for me. Look at the basil, it smells so good. It smells so good in here. 2 weeks ago, we put cucumber seeds into the ground in this greenhouse, and they've really taken off. We have some hot weather in the forecast for next week, so I think these are just gonna explode. And check out the tomatoes. They're growing like crazy. These are all the smaller tomatoes, like a Juliet or our cherry tomatoes. So it really isn't gonna be long before these are producing too.
Serina keeps telling me that she needs more space to plant stuff. So I've been down here tilling away, and we are super close to basically being, you know, done this whole length of farm. And next we'll move over to the other side of the farm here and we'll start working those beds. It does feel pretty good to be all the way down to the fence here. Like, Since I started tilling on this farm when we moved here 3 years ago, it's kind of been like, oh, imagine how good it's going to look once we get down to the fence and we got this whole big strip of farm. And like now, look, we made it all the way down. Next week, this is my job. I have to go after all these little saplings. I have to knock them down. And then I got to start tilling over here and getting this ready to grow food. But enough of this visiting. Let's get back to work.
Well, 2 hours and one major technology headache later, and we have marketing. Last of the spinach.
Take a moment to talk about these pants.
It's raining. They're rain pants.
It's quite the color.
I don't judge. I just buy them when they're $1.99 at the thrift store.
Hey Serena, did you know that if I'm holding a camera, it absolves me of having to do work?
Get back to work.
Marks, get set, harvest.
Come and get you. Lettuce mix. What do you think? Looks pretty good.
Step one of improvement this week was to have better labeling.
Yeah, it looks good, huh?
Yeah.
So I bought new bags because I needed more bags anyways. And so all they had was these tall ones. So you can see how tall. This is like, way too tall. But it means that now we can tie it shut like this, and have enough space for doing the loop. And then if it fogs up, which they do, then it's easy to open up to air out the fogginess. No weeds. 100% lettuce means no weeds. Our first version of this label was just lettuce. And then Ian made a good point. He was like, that's kind of, just is a negative word. So instead we went for 100% lettuce. I think that's better branding. The pure lettuce salad mix is something that I definitely want to be doing. We've had lots of customers tell us in past years that they buy our specific salad mix because they want only lettuce. Just lettuce. Just lettuce. How about that?
Whatever bouquet that flower is in will sell.
So we might be growing the cax tail just for bouquets.
Doesn't have crazy length on it, but not bad for like for
It's
a
got a
filler.
fun shape, right?
Yeah.
And then the color's really good.
Yeah.
What do you got there, Sam?
The dirt ball special one?
The special dirt balls?
Yeah.
Yum.
Wait, what?
I like that yellow yarrow.
I know, isn't it pretty?
It's like so tight.
So bright. It's like hard to look at. It's so bright. Very happy. I think you're gonna be able to make some pretty little jars with those ranunculus
Yeah.
and like the kale and stuff.
We have so many more
The
snapdragons.
snapdragons, we have a half bed in the farm and they're starting to get buds. So, you know, next week we'll probably have a pretty good pick in here. And then the week after that, I wouldn't be surprised if we have them starting out. Right? So we might have steady snapdragons from here on out. Like, it's fallen over, so it's like
Twisty. Whatever.
some very artistic stems.
Wind blown.
Yeah, exactly.
Costs more.
Same like with these. They're super tall, but I can't pick it like that, right?
Yeah.
I kind of have to pick it.
It's a cool color
Down
gradient
here.
on this one.
These are bronze. This is like when they're called bronze. They're
Good
these like
stuff.
orange and pinks and stuff. This year, 3 trays of bronze.
Yeah.
They're the only thing I buy color specific. Or in the Snapdragons. Right, the rest of the time, I'm happy with the mix. First Larkspur. It's quite the coloring on it, huh? Very romantic looking. Right? I like structural, architectural flowers better than fluffy, romantic ones.
Can you give me one of your brutalist bouquets?
Ooh. So I hate Bachelor Buttons. They're the worst. So this is the new plan for harvesting Bachelor Buttons. No more individual messing around. Just snip off the whole thing.
But then what about stripping the leaves? How is it?
Still pain. There's still not much you can do. But keep all like the side branches, right? Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how you do it.
What an entrance. It's 10 after 8, and you know, it still feels like we have a lot left to do. I haven't even really looked over the merchandising stuff yet, and we're not done with all the veggies. It is a bit intimidating because it feels like we still have a lot to do, and you know, you just end up running out of time, even though you're not necessarily out of energy or you know, feel like you ever took a moment to slow down, but you just run out of time. So it's kind of what it's feeling like today for me, because I really don't feel like I've done anything of too much value other than kind of like follow up on some of the little tasks that Serina wants. But regardless, time is up. Time is up. Time for these kids to go to bed. So I gotta do that now, and then afterwards I'll get back out here.
Ian's pointing a camera at me. Making he's making eyes like this is a bad video. You talking to Heather is boring. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I think that they look.
I'm like, does this add to it?
Yeah,
You know.
because it is still kale.
Excuse me?
It's nice looking kale, but it's still kale. You have to add some value.
What do you mean?
With the little like
This-
amaranthy type.
Excuse me. This is a high-end, long-lasting, unique, and beautiful filler
You asked
that
me-
you can't get at a florist.
You asked me if it needed it or not, and I'm saying yes, it does. It adds value.
This filler is so beautiful and so unique. People don't even know what it is. Okay, here's the think I was thinking today. Thinking about my unique style. So a cottage garden is like a garden that has like vegetables and flowers mixed together, you know, and it's this mix of function and beauty that's like very, you know, it's not structured, it's very relaxed, very casual, and that's like a cottage garden, right? And so my bouquets are cottage garden inspired because they're a mix of both flowers and vegetables. But the second you cut a vegetable and stick it into a flower arrangement, it stops being a vegetable and it starts being a cut flower because it was cut to be a flower. So these are not full of kale. These are cut flower arrangements. But I feel like I could bring this, like do up a bunch of this, bring it down to like a florist and be like new and unique filler you can't find anywhere else. And then when they're like, what is it? I'm like, oh, it's called KX1, right? And they'll be like, I want it, I need it. Okay. They all bring their own, their thing. And then with the ranunculus, just classic. There we go. Okay. Okay. So I have this weed, which is great when it's little. I don't know, I got like 6 of it.
Yeah.
I don't know, do you think I can get away with just this and then some Bachelor Buttons?
It'll be nice and tall, like it'll fit in a bigger vase.
Yeah. Right? So the issue that I'm having right now, the reason why whatever I make, I'm not gonna be happy with, other than those jars I'm happy with, is the fact that, you know, all of the, like filler flowers, you know, I have like the Snapdragons, those are like a spike. But what you want is you want a focal flower. You want like the thing that draws the attention, and I'm not gonna have that in these. You know, ideally I'd want a couple big zinnias, or I'd want a peony, or I would want a dahlia, right? Like something, or sunflowers, like something big, punchy, the flower that you see, and then everything else is the chorus.
But then
the star versus the chorus.
The reality is it is still spring in Canada.
Yeah.
And you know, it's still cool and it's going to be unique.
We don't have very much competition at the farmers market. That's the reality. We can get away with doing a little bit less because we just having flowers.
And it's not even like it's less because it's only $10, and it takes a long time to put them together, to harvest it and to.
But it's amazing,
to make a thing.
Right? Like, cause it's like these, right? So the focal is the ranunculus, right? You take the ranunculus out of this, and it's a bunch of kale, right? Like, the focal flower is transformative to the bouquet as a whole. Oh, and you know what this needs? It needs some grass.
Oh, it does though.
Yeah, whatever. $10, you don't like it? No flowers for you. There. Nothing like a little paper sleeve. Make it look classy. Beautiful little spring cottage arrangement.
Ooh.
Oh, drama. High drama. There. And then we'll do bronze, or bronze ones. The best of the best. 1 weird thing, 2 weird things, 3 weird things, 4 weird things. Some windswept Snapdragons. You pay more for the wind. Bachelor Buttons. Bachelor Buttons. Bachelor Buttons. Maybe this is too many.
That looks like a $20 bouquet. It's a weird. It doesn't actually look like a $20 bouquet though.
You just wait. It's this wind. There's too much wind. It's less of a refreshing breeze and more of a blowing the dust in your face at the beach. How about like that? Still too much wind.
Did you snap it?
I broke it.
You know.
You know what it is now?
Almost entirely nothing.
It's ours. That's what this jar is.
Oh yeah.
Things for us.
And it's perfect because I was just going to suggest using something else.
There. Oh.
You throw that in your stew.
Yeah. I don't know. It still looks pretty good.
And what's the price?
$8,000. Can't buy this at a florist. Florists don't have year-old Swiss chard. You can only buy that here. But I like you, so you can have it for $10.
That's definitely $10 a
Yeah,
value.
for sure.
Okay, I'm into this bouquet.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
You're gonna be a non-believer at first, but then I'm gonna convince you.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm already convinced.
Oh, yeah.
Like it.
You like that?
I like
collar?
I like
the darker collar?
all yellow stuff. Because I really like that Yarrows.
For sure, I'd be into just the hero. Yeah, and then look at that little drama
Yeah.
of the collar. Yeah, look. There you go. That's great.
Super fun. I do like the kale on the bottom too.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting close to $1,000, Ian.
What?
Well, I just told you, like, one of those is $8,000. So if you sell that.
But this one's going to be the exact same.
Yeah. The yellow with the dark.
It's unique, right?
Yeah, it makes the yellows punch a bit more.
Because normally I consider yellow kind of like a
Oh, Pantone.
budget. It's a budget color.
Pantone color of the year. Right there.
Oh yeah.
Diving pretty deep here into the filler bucket.
Filler's good.
This
Yeah.
chart does like
Yeah, it's gorgeous, isn't it?
yeah.
If it looks good, it looks good.
Serena just had a personal epiphany that she can convert over to team flowers by using vegetables as arrangements.
I just need to teach people how beautiful vegetables are.
I think I got all my stuff together for the night, so.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have 9 bouquets, the 3 jars,
Yeah. That's
right?
good.
So that's like, you know,
I wouldn't be surprised if we sell.
that's $120 if we sell them for 10 each.
Yeah.
And then I need to put together more dried bouquets.
Show me this last little bit that you worked on. I kind of like this one here.
Yeah, they look pretty, huh? And I'll put collars on them. And I think they're gonna look really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm shocked the fact that there's like 9 here and they don't look sad and pathetic.
Yeah.
The dahlias have buds. It's not gonna be long until it all starts going like crazy.
Yeah.
So it'll be exciting.
Okay. See you tomorrow.
See ya.
Good night.
Good night.
The truck's packed up. I'm all ready to go to the market, so let's go. You probably want to know about the flower fall over fallout or the great market crash of 2021. The amaranth was too top heavy. It blew over and it knocked over a bunch of the ranunculus jars, and one of them smashed and was not salvageable. I was pretty bummed about it. I was recording and I was out in the middle of the walkway and I saw it going and I instinctively went to catch it, but I'm like 10 feet away, so obviously not.
So, Ian, you were supposed to sell $1,000.
Yeah.
I sent you with way more than $1,000 worth of product. What did you sell?
$455, which is what? I was happy with that. We sold a ton of flowers. We sold out of basically everything that wasn't smashed. We sold a lot of dried flowers, and the dried flowers were selling before the fresh flowers sold out.
You know, it's interesting to me that the dried flowers are something that is still selling now. The intention with the dried flowers was it was a way to save the summer blooms that didn't sell to have something in the fall after frost when all of our flowers are dead. So it's exciting for me that this is something that, you know, could maybe be a steady sale at every single market. So why didn't you sell $1,000? I sent you with all that. What wasn't selling?
Well, for one, the choy didn't sell hardly at all.
Which we know.
There's-
The goal is eventually we'll get enough people to try the choy that they'll fall in love with the choy.
Yeah.
And then we can grow choy.
You know, people who were buying it were really excited about it. So I wasn't really exposing too many people who are new to it. People would see it and be like, wow, that looks amazing. I want some because I love choy already. But there wasn't a lot of converts today. Although, you know, I do pitch it a lot. I'm like, ooh, it's so good. I love
Choy
it.
boy right here.
I didn't sell a single seedling, and I didn't have any interest in it.
I think at this point,
People-
there is no customer. People planted their gardens. There's going to be no more veggie seedlings going down to the market. We have about 15 dinner plate dahlias left. Those will go next week. 'Cause
Yeah.
those will still sell, but no more seedling. Last week, we sent the salad mix not completed. It wasn't our vision of them in the bags with the labels. You know, the goal this year is to be doing more salad mix, have it look better, you know, really make a go for it, because we do make money and people want the salad mix.
Yeah.
We want to have it always in the fridge for people to come and buy at any point. So we got the branding done this week. How did people respond to it? Were people making any sort of comments?
You know, people found it easier to understand what was being offered. They could, because I had it tilted so that the labels were facing up, you know, and they weren't just tucked away. So people could see what was in the bags. Because the bags, you know, they do get all fogged up in the sun. You know, there's no...
Yeah, there's no shade. This time of year is always a struggle, because when people think farmers markets, they think the summer abundance. What they want tomatoes, they want carrots, they want beautiful bouquets of flowers. They want all these things that are really July, August items. And in the spring, it's obviously not available. So it's always hard to get the excitement going for what is available. You know, as much as the farmer's market customer is more sophisticated about wanting to eat in season, they still are wanting to eat summer season things. We are not going to be able to have that summer abundance for next week. We are still solidly in spring crops. We might have zucchinis though for next week. At least a handful.
That'll turn
and
some heads.
that's gonna get people excited. And you know, every week we get closer to being able to have those beautiful, abundant, colorful displays. So we're getting there. But next week, $1,000. I expect $1,000 next week.
Go team!